This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of Nak Muay. Go check it out. This episode of the podcast is a recording from September 1st with Sack Life Official. What Sack Life is led by a man named Tim. His whole purpose right now is to bring awareness to mental health through martial arts. He's going around, traveling around, teaching people free martial arts lessons in order to help combat poor mental health. Super cool guy. Really enjoyed my interview with him. Definitely go check them out at Sack Life Official, SACKLIFE Official on Instagram. Again, enjoy the show and go check them out. All right, so today is September 22nd, Wednesday. I have the infamous Matt Lucas in the house.
Very infamous.
Very infamous. Yeah. Fresh from Isan.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It was more like Pattaya, Bangkok.
That's actually, so you're living in Bangkok, right?
Well, so I go back and forth between Pattaya, working at Fairtex Training Center, and then my girlfriend lives in Bangkok. Oh. So I spend about 4 days a week in Pattaya, and then a couple of days a week in Bangkok hanging out with her.
Sweet.
But when I'm in Bangkok, a lot of times I end up working and doing stuff in Bangkok as well.
Yeah, you've been active in like the media circle and like fighter circuit, like in regards to like interacting with the fighters and stuff like that, like Angela Chang, who was just out here. Mm-hmm. How did you and Angela meet?
I actually met Angela probably 5 years ago when she was training at Sitsong Pinong. I just went there. I think I did a piece on Eddie Abasolo for West Coast Muay Thai or something, and she was there, and she'd been there for a little while, and I was like, oh, you're vegan, I'm vegan, that's nice. But, you know, when people are there for a short time, or I don't really pay attention that much.
Yeah.
It wasn't until maybe a year or two later that I looked around and I was like, oh, Angela is still here.
Oh, she's long-term.
Yeah, oh, she's long-term. Okay, now she's willing to, invest in. So I actually went out and met her I was doing a piece for a Thai magazine on females in Muay Thai, and I was like, oh, hey, Angela, let me take some photos of you. I was also trying to get better at photography, blah, blah, blah. We struck up a friendship that developed from there. Then when I think maybe about 2 years ago, I acquired Muay Thai Gram with Brett Halvacek and another partner. And then maybe 6 months into it, I was like, oh, we should start sponsoring fighters. Basically, it's a media sponsorship.
Yeah.
So we help, get them more exposure and help sometimes do other deals for them, clothing deals. We've gotten people sponsors. We've gotten people, I've gotten people won championship contracts, also cornering fights, a lot of just general support.
So you just threw a lot out there. Like you're getting people clothing sponsorships, like getting people won UFC fights, won championship fights. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because they can get, do they do long-term contracts for one?
Yeah, so most of the contracts are 2 years or more. So you depending on the athlete and what's going on, will depend on what's happening. So Brogan, who is a Muay Thai Garam sponsored athlete, is a signed MMA fighter. Unfortunately, because of pandemic stuff, he only had one bout.
Yes.
And also he was in the feeder program.
Yeah.
And I had like another athlete that was offered a one championship contract. It didn't work out. I've helped other athletes and coaches from here in the States to get on to one championship as well.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I've, like, waking up early to watch the fights, and I'm like, I see you.
Yeah.
And, when you said, I went back up a second, you say feeder program.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what, for those that don't know, like, what is that?
Yeah, so one championship, at least in the MMA side, has the One Warrior Series, which is a feeder program into the one championship main card. So they have smaller shows, usually held in Singapore, where they're developing their talent. So a lot of, or at least some promotions will do this, like Rebellion Muay Thai in Australia,
Yes.
run by Sai Neji, does that. He has a show called Roots, and it's amateur and sort of low-level professionals, and he has them to build for this main card Rebellion. Sometimes he'll do 2 shows in one day, so he'll do Roots and then Rebellion at night, so sort of get locals and fighters and everyone there, and then he puts on like the higher quality fights where he has to fly people in at night. So he's had some pretty amazing bouts.
I've seen their stuff before.
Yeah.
In like the media, the production's pretty good for what they're doing. Like you don't see, like I know they started off small, but it seems like they're doing the right thing where they're getting a little bit better every time, right?
They also have an amazing team behind them. They have this amazing photographer, William Liu. They have this guy, Jake Gathercole. They've invested into their YouTube, which is very smart. Saineji has done a good job getting sponsors. Fairtex is sponsored by them, and Quest Environments, which is a huge fan of the sport out there. They have quality, commentary. They have quality fights. They've done sort of the hard work.
To help build up.
Yeah.
They really roots.
Grassroots, yeah.
That makes sense.
But, I mean, that's the way you have to do things. You even look at one championship, they've had over 100 shows.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until show, like, maybe 70 that they sort of blew up. And it's only been within the last 3 years that they had the Muay Thai and kickboxing component.
Which, like, I think really just expanded the audience pretty big with that. Because, like, for me, I remember seeing when they were doing MMA, because the big thing, I think it was Ben Askren, they allowed him to throw, like, head kicks, like, soccer kicks to the head on the ground. And I just remember thinking, like, oh, shit, like, I want to watch one. I missed that from, like, watching Pride. Yeah, because for me, I'm not, like, a big MMA fan, but it's like, hey, like, it's nice to see, like, that. Because they just a little bit more raw.
Yeah.
And but they don't allow it anymore, right?
I'm not really sure. To be honest, I'm not very much of an aficionado for the MMA side. I don't really know all of the rules. Although Demetrius Johnson did recently fight someone, and they allow knees to the head.
Ooh, on the ground. On
the ground, and he lost because of that.
Ooh.
His opponent kneed him right in the noggin, and he was like fucked up. And that was a game.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
It's a different game.
Yeah, it's a totally different game, and you can't do that in the UFC.
Yeah. Damn. Well, so going away from like the
MMA side,
MMA stuff and everything too, like seeing the Muay Thai, the kickboxing. Like I've seen you promote some of that help get like some of the people from Fairtex. You had the girl from Sweden. What's her name?
Oh, Smilla.
Smilla.
Yeah, Smilla Sundahl.
Okay. How old is she?
She's 16 and a half now.
Fighting pro, right?
Yeah, fighting professional. Her entire career has been professional. So she is a one championship signed athlete. She should be debuting sometime later this year, hopefully.
I hope so too.
Yeah, she's amazing.
What weight class is she?
She will fight at 57 kilos.
She's 57. How tall is she?
She is taller than me. She's maybe 5'11".
5'11"?
Yeah. I don't think she's 6 foot, but she's tall.
That's taller
she's
than me
tall.
too. Damn.
Yeah, but she's a really nice kid. She's like a 16-year-old that is into Muay Thai,
Yeah, I like some of the stuff that you're putting out. It was like cooking with her, like, there's like the Swedish sausages, or something like that. Like I think I posted like, oh, the Swedish chef.
Yeah. She, when she eats this stuffed schnitzel all the time, it's just like chicken breast pancakes, and it's breaded and fried, and that's like all she eats. I get on her case all the time that she doesn't eat vegetables. When we go out to eat, if she listens to this, she'll be super embarrassed because I'm totally blowing up her spot.
Oh God.
But she only eats I make fun of her on like Instagram about it, but she only eats like fried chicken and French fries and what is it? Cashew nut chicken. Like when she goes out to eat. I'm like,
she's young though.
Yeah, she's young. She's 16, which is like.
You do that when you're
yeah. You know, when you're a 16-year-old kid, you do that sort of dumb stuff. One time we went. I'm vegan. You know, for those out there in audio land.
I mean, you could tell by the way you talk. I'm just kidding.
But we went out and I went to. We got some food and she got cashew nut chicken, of course. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this mashed broccoli, and I was like, oh, try it, Smilla, try it. And she put like the tiniest sliver onto her fork, and she put it in her mouth and then like gagged and was like,
have you seen the videos like the cats, like they smell like shrimp, like like that?
Yeah,
right?
it was basically like that.
Like, it's not that bad. Come on now.
Yeah, she's allergic to vegetables, but she's not allergic to fighting and is a very accomplished athlete.
Yeah, I saw that they were doing some like smoker style stuff at Fairtex.
Yeah, so. Basically, you know, to keep the fighters busy, especially when there weren't fights. It was, you know, Mr. Wong is very generous and helpful for the fighters that come under him. So, you know, he helps them and he set up matches for a lot of the fighters there, and Smilla fought a couple boys, and it was.
And she won, right?
Well, like the first one, she definitely won. The second one, she lost.
Okay.
There was no declared winner or loser, but
it's just experience.
Yeah, it's just experience, and you know, whatever. It doesn't matter that much.
Just keep them sharp.
Yeah, it's just like we want you to like be doing this.
Yeah.
You know,
that's smart though.
Yeah, it's smart.
Take somebody like Mr. Wong too at the helm and his family to like push that and be able to do that too.
But you know in a lot of ways Fairtex is smart because they use the athletes as brand ambassadors for the equipment side, which it does very well.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember we were talking about that over lunch.
Yeah,
we went to Public Market and got some vegan tacos.
Yeah,
oh, it's good.
Yeah, it was real good.
Yeah, but. You know, the equipment, like obviously, like, you know, we use Fairtex Thai pads here. You know, it's a well-known brand.
Yeah.
Like I would use the heavy bags if I can get them stuffed.
Yeah.
But you have to stuff it yourself. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
We have pro boxing supplies down the valley, but when it comes to Thai pads and stuff like that, like Fairtex is easily and very readily accessible here in North America compared to other Thai brands.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes me happy that I'm working for, you know, a company with a good reputation.
And, you know, obviously, like, how long have you been working for them now?
It's been about 3 years as the social media manager. So I do the Instagram, Facebook. I do end up doing some foreign liaison stuff and helping fighters out with getting bouts and cornering them as well. But my direct job duties are, you know, social media manager.
Yeah. Well, the, like... cool thing about that too is you meet a lot of people that were coming through there. Like you got to meet my brother. I brought him by there. You met my brother. And
yeah,
stuff like
I think we met
at Fairtex.
At Fairtex, maybe. Yeah, it was
like probably right when you started.
Yeah, around right when I started.
But I think I told you this is I knew who you were through. It was my Muay Thai.
Oh,
when you were writing for them.
Yeah, that was a long
time ago. Over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, or something like that. 13 years. So that I remember like seeing you on there and there's a couple other people.
Yeah, maybe 2007, I think.
2008.
Yeah, 2008 is when I started writing for them.
And there wasn't a lot of Muay Thai on the internet, like for blogs, video.
Nothing.
Like I remember you used to go onto YouTube. I'd start type in Muay Thai and like sort by most recent. There'd be maybe one page of like, new stuff. So I saw that girl Sylvie. Like seeing her like journey start and then it grew into what it is now, and then seeing you, then I'm like, oh, it's just a matter of time before I meet this guy.
Yeah, basically.
So, and now we've like the last time I saw you was.
It was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, February 2020 at Crew Pat's Business Summit, Muay Thai Business Summit.
Yeah.
We're hanging out there and you great and remember you had vegan Parmesan cheese?
Yeah, it was disgusting.
It wasn't good?
It wasn't good.
You were so happy about it.
Do you remember I like bit off a corner of this like block of Parmesan and you were like, no, you're supposed to grate it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, well, it's disgusting.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that, man.
Yeah, man. I understand why like Smilla hates vegan food, and it's because the vegan that she knows does all these dumb things like
eat a block of Parmesan. Like, here, try this. Try this broccoli mash. Oh man. You know what's funny is then I didn't find it out until later. I don't know if I told you that I was breaking out into shingles then.
Oh, I don't think you did.
Yeah, so...
wait, maybe you...
It was like the last day I realized I had shingles. So I was feeling really down that week, and I thought I was just stretching myself thin. And I had gone, I was like, okay, I'll take some Dayquil and stuff like that. This is before, we knew, shutdowns, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe there's some shit going on in China, but that was about it.
Yeah.
And then... I was just feeling really down. This would happen to me a lot if I overworked myself. So I was like, oh, I'm fine. Then also my back started hurting. I thought I agitated a old back injury. And when I was up there at the business summit, I remember I didn't do Malipet did a seminar.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm going to stick out because I don't feel good. I want to share love.
I sort of remember that now.
So... when I was sitting there, I remember just getting nerve pain. I thought it was just my back. And I went back to, I think it was the hotel on Saturday night, and I was taking a shower, and I saw this big rash on the side of my body. It was shingles. I'm like, yo, I'm 30. I was 30 years old at the time. Why the hell, or 31? Why am I breaking out into shingles?
Yeah,
this is weird. And I was just feeling really down. I developed a cough, fever, body. That messed me up for 6 weeks, man.
Yeah, ouch.
So. Turns out I went to my doctor, and he's like, man, all these young people are breaking out into shingles, and we don't know why. And fast forward to late last year, I was talking to my doctor, and he's like, hey, man, when you broke out into shingles? Yeah. He's like, well, they're finding out. Did you see this research study? He said it was most likely COVID.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. The rash is a little different, but it's very likely to be COVID, considering the time
and all
time
the people. We were at tournaments. All these people are traveling in.
You probably gave me COVID, bro.
Yeah, I probably was.
Yeah.
Were you patient zero in Thailand?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I stayed away from everybody. I wasn't.
You're good about it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be irresponsible about that kind of crap either.
Yeah, I mean, one of the good things about obviously. COVID has not been good, but one of the things that has been maybe a positive thing is people are more aware of when they're sick, they don't hang out with other people.
Thank God.
And I was at Dave Brooks' gym recently, and
Coach Dave in Phoenix, right?
Yeah, in Phoenix.
I visited his gym. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah,
man.
he's so nice. So nice.
Shout out to Coach Dave Brooks.
Yeah. What up? But he has a temperature check there, and when everyone gets temperature checked, and when he's not been feeling well, he's like, temperature's not good, I can't be here. He figures it out, and he takes time off. He sets an example, and I think that's really good, and so it allows other athletes that train at his gym to do the same.
Yeah, lead by example. Influence them. And it's the same thing for us. We've always had on our rule board don't train with illness or infections.
Yeah.
It's always been my thing, and we always harp on it, especially when we came to competition time. This is before COVID, because hey, these guys their immune systems are stretched thin.
Yeah,
they're training
exactly.
so hard, and if you come in with the cold, they're gonna get really sick.
Yeah.
So I've always been hyper aware of that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of refreshing. I've been a germaphobe.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking at that.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's from this candle from Sedona. They make these special candles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, something that happens a lot in Thailand is staph infections.
Oh.
And it's not, getting a staph infection is not really a big deal, but it is easy to spread because it's, on your skin and stuff, and it can potentially be hazardous.
Yeah.
But if you take care of it, it's only 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
And so it's not a big deal, but you need to take care of it before it gets bad and basically hurts other people.
Yeah, that's why I brought when I was bringing my students over to Thailand. One of them showed up. I'm like, yo, dude, what the hell is out in your leg? He's like, I had a mosquito bite back home, but it looks like it's getting really inflamed here. I'm like, yo, dude, that's staph.
Yeah, it was staph.
No,
yeah,
it was. I went to the gym over JK. I'm like, hey, we need to go to urgent care. And it's funny because he was talking to me a little bit in Thai, and he started joking to Jeremy, saying, "Oh, we're gonna cut it off.
Yeah,
cut off your leg, cut off." He's just like, "Fuck you," and Jeremy's like, "Yeah, oh my god, dude, I don't know what's gonna happen." We run to urgent care. I'm like, "All right, man, I'll be here. Scream if you need me." They just drained it and
it's totally normal,
but, And he caught it early too, so that was the
which
thing.
is good.
So anybody that's out there, it's a very septic environment.
Yeah.
It's like the sewers. There's a lot of dirt in the air.
It's a jungle.
Yeah.
So
you get sweaty.
You get sweaty and gross in a jungle. Like, what do you think it's a jungle / swamp.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is going to happen? It's not a big deal. You just have to be aware of these things,
And be proactive on it.
Yeah, and be proactive.
I had somebody almost get heat stroke.
Yeah. And I was like, that's so bad.
It was when they had like that, in 2019, they had like the heat wave and stuff around Songkran. And it was like, it was so hot.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you need to drink more water. You need to drink more water.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, no, you need to drink more water.
Yeah, you need to drink a shit ton of water out there.
And like the electrolytes too. And they didn't drink it. I'm like, hey, where's this person at? Like, they're in the room. They'll feel good. I call them like, I'm like peeing really dark. I'm like, yo. So like I went and got on like the Hug taxi, got them like coconut water, electrolytes.
Yeah.
They took them like a day and a half, and luckily they were able to like bounce back from that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's serious. Like, it's a different environment. Even out here, I saw some athletes training. I forget which gym it was, but they cramped up.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, you're probably just not drinking enough water.
Well, for me, I cramp up from having like severely flat feet, so a lot of the smaller muscles in my feet get overworked. But I actually just discovered this stuff called Salt Stick from the running community, and they're electrolyte tablets that you chew that have like lemon or watermelon flavor, and it's like drinking the electrolytes without the water.
Oh, that's cool.
It helps a lot for like cramping.
Yeah, that's good.
And you're supposed to take them like every 45 minutes. I'm like, man, I wish I would have had these over the past years. All the times I cramped, I could have prevented that.
Yeah.
But I've seen that a lot too, especially like calf, feet, or like the hamstring. It's pretty normal. Speaking of hamstring, did you see that guy Chris Tremble? Did you see his he just fought. He tore both his his glutes.
He basically did a split in the ring.
Yeah, well, he said in his description, he said one already went. Yeah. And he barely got off the stool, and he was gonna try to just punch more, and then he did it gave out, and the other one split. And tore his other glute.
Fucking bad.
I was like, it's just seeing that, it's just like, oh, I feel for the guy.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. I mean, it's stuff like that can be prevented though.
Yes. Well, that guy had he almost died in like a motorbike accident.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his nickname was Head Trauma because I guess he went into a pole, like a concrete pole in Phuket, and he's probably wearing one of the brain bucket helmets, full-on one. And I guess he didn't even remember how he got to this house. He was covered in blood. Oh my god! So I think he had to have he had massive reconstruction surgery, I think.
Oh wow!
So and having that in Thailand, septic environment and stuff. So that guy's already been through some shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But shout out to that guy. I hope he heals up quickly.
Yeah, I hope he gets better soon,
So what brings you out to the U.S. right now?
So, I am basically on a Muay Thai tour. So I was flown out by Patrick Rivera to do some talks at the Muay Thai Business Summit.
Shout out to Crew Pat.
Yep. So I did a talk on athlete management and then a talk on content marketing. I've gone from San Francisco to Stockton, Sacramento to Houston, Austin, Boston, New York, Philly, Arizona, Seattle, Portland, LA, Santa Barbara.
Yeah, not Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara and
Ventura.
Ventura, and then I'll leave back to Thailand on this Saturday.
Nice, man. I'm so glad we're able to make this happen.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Originally you weren't going to be coming up to Santa Barbara. Yeah. But what do you think? We're talking a little bit this town, the location.
It's so beautiful. So I took a train from LA up here.
And Union Station, right?
Union Station is very scenic. I was a bit surprised. I was very surprised at how scenic the ride was and how beautiful Santa Barbara is. Yeah. I was sort of like, I don't want to come, but I've also been doing a lot, so I'm sort of a little travel fatigued. But I'm really glad that I came.
Yeah, it's a very refreshing place to come to for sure.
It's nice, and so. Yeah, I did some talks at the Muay Thai Business Summit. I did a WBC scoring seminar at Wooden Man Muay Thai. I helped Line Fight connect with Fairtex's new underbrand,
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
so they're going to be using that for the October 8th?
Yep.
Oh, sweet. We'll be there.
Yeah, so do you have a fighter on the card?
So I have two friends that are local in Ventura County. My friend Travis Petralba. He's fighting at it.
He's fighting someone from Dan's
Jordan Weiland.
Yeah,
I think it's Jordan's pro debut.
Yeah, so that'll be a good fight.
Interesting matchup.
Yeah.
You know, you have the guy who's very powerful, then you have the other guy who's more like good with his knee and clinching, Travis.
Yeah, Travis. And I actually saw Jordan recently in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I've met Travis as well.
Yeah.
Travis is definitely taller with a thinner frame. Jordan is a bit wider.
And power.
Yeah, he's like a power puncher.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup for them to go through. The other one is my friend Raul Navarrete. He's from Oxnard, so he trained with the first trainer I trained with. He fought in Glory and stuff like that before.
Oh, that's cool.
But he was focused more on MMA for a while because we're like more MMA style gym where we both started. And now he's training, you know, the UFC 155-pounder Tony Ferguson?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he does crazy shit because this is how he is. Shout out to Tony. But he's been training with Tony a lot for it, and I think he's trained with some of the guys from like the Classic Fight team or something like that. Oh, that's cool. So he's been. I'm supposed to train with him tomorrow. I think we're trying to connect on it. So I'm going down. I want to go support both of them.
That's great.
Do whatever I can.
Yeah.
So. And I think it's on UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I really like how Lion Fight this time. I don't know if you know, they're not doing an amateur undercard. They're doing all pros.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, they. When I went to Boston to see Line Fight 69.
Oh, yeah.
You know, shake hands, of course. And it was cool. You know, Fairtex, you know, this underbrand, supplied all the gloves and shorts and everything. And so we got to see a lot of the backstage stuff of the show. And it was pretty well run. You know, things went smoothly. Weigh-ins were quick and easy. The venue was at the House of Blues by Fenway Park, and it was well run, so I was pretty happy with it. I was like, oh, this is good. They had one amateur fight on the undercard, but it wasn't televised. So
well, the good thing is like they used to use they do like pretty heavy amateur undercard, like 5 pro fights, but now they're just doing all pro, which the way Line Fight restructured, I think is really good. They went more local, more grassroots.
Yeah.
They were trying to get really big, I think a little too fast. They kind of blew up in their face a little bit, the whole thing with Tiffany. Like, you know, all that. But seeing them come back, and this guy, Scott Zur, he's like the local rep out here. He's doing a really good job of reaching out to local and being really hands-on with like, hey, make sure to sell your tickets. Hey, do you need help? Hey, here's some media content. Hey, here's this meeting. Hey, we're doing a Zoom meeting. The communication is very well to set them up for success.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like it comes down to the fighters have to do their job too, but they're making it easier for them because you know they're trying to train for a fight. They're not getting paid a whole lot, but the purse was like decent for low level amateurs too. I was surprised. Like I'm not going to talk numbers here, but it's like, you know, I've seen other shows that pay like half.
Yeah.
You know, of what they're paying for low level low level pros.
Yeah.
And I have to give it up for them for doing that.
Scott Zer has a background in production, like fight production management. He was working for a show in Canada for a while and then came on board with Scott Kent about 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember meeting Scott Zer when it first came up.
And so, you know, I do think that they're doing a good job and hopefully it continues, obviously. You know, and I do think they are trying to help the fighters more, which is good. I also think like fighters need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Just because it's not right now. There's not a lot of infrastructure for the sport. So, your trainer will be like sell tickets, and the fighter will be like, okay, how do I sell tickets? Like, you know, when I started fighting, I had no fucking idea how to sell tickets.
Yeah.
You know, and some gyms, like say 8 Limbs, have a very, very strong built-in community, whereas, you know, other gyms might not.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to sort of understand what it means, how to sell tickets and what it means to sell tickets.
Yeah. And like that, you inspired me at the Muay Thai Business Summit to like do a couple things. Write a book, give you a copy of the book.
Yeah.
And the second one is to focus more on media. And it's one of those things, like I invested in a camera just shortly before that. I'm like, perfect, I have a camera. My family's in cinematography and photography. So it's like, how do I leverage that? And I hired a media person over shutdown and stuff too to really like focus on content. You've helped me out a little bit too on like, some tips. But just seeing that kind of all come together, that's literally, it's scary because it's like so much comes in through social media. Because it's like, man, that's what is getting the most attention. And that I've seen it can just get shut off. Yeah. And so it's like a little bit scary. What do you think about that?
Like that can get shut off?
Yeah, I saw you building like an email list.
Yeah. So I'm gonna build. So there's like the argument that you post on Instagram and stuff. Like that content is not really yours. It's Instagram's. Which I totally understand. I have backups of everything, and for me that's not the point. For me, at least, it's like, did I positively impact this person's life that I am talking about or promoting? Yes. Okay, that's good enough. If it disappears into the ether, that's how life works. You know, you can't be certain.
I guess more of like what I'm saying is that we're creating such a reliance on business for these audiences through these social media platforms. And that they could easily disappear, and then all of a sudden we're having a hard time getting an audience again. Yeah. So that's like the big concern for me.
Well, I would say that a lot of the skills that you will develop through building an online presence are going to be translatable to general marketing.
For sure.
So it's like video work, it's photography, it's copywriting.
Yes.
So if you have those skills, yeah, it's great that Instagram is around, but if it disappears, that's okay. You can figure out your own platform. You know, there's a lot of very successful athletes and gyms that have their own programs. Liam Harrison has his own online school. Onion Topic just did a great series of basically tips and guides. You know, what a long guard is, best KO points.
I've seen some of his stuff. It looks good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So, you know, I do think that there's ways you can leverage those skills even if the platform isn't there or if the platform changes. You know, Facebook is definitely skewing much older.
Yes.
Instagram, you know, is aged like maybe 25 to 35. TikTok obviously skews much younger. So you also have to understand that there's
different platforms or different demographics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, you know, but if you know how to use Instagram effectively, it's not going to be a massive leap to learn how to use TikTok effectively.
Or use something newer.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with like the Instagram Reels, which is like play on TikTok.
Yeah, right? It's basically very similar to TikTok.
The algorithm's a little different. The sounds. I still like to find the sounds. It's easier in TikTok than it is
Yes,
Instagram.
100%.
Instagram needs to figure that out.
Yeah, well, it's the business accounts don't have access to a lot of the music because of copyright issues.
Yeah, and they don't want the business to be liable and create this whole shitstorm.
But yeah, but I mean, for me at least, obviously, I am a proponent of social media because it has been very good for me. I basically started posting very, very regularly about 3.5 years ago. 3 years ago, I just like looked at my notes, and it's gotten me international opportunities. You know, if I wasn't on social media, if I wasn't a public presence, I wouldn't be touring around the States doing what I'm doing.
No.
You know, so
here we
are. Like, and it's you know, because I posted every single day and provided high quality content and, you know, create a network. You know, I'm very, very lucky that I'm in the position where I am, but I also think, you know, I put in some work into it.
Yeah.
So
you deserve it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super grateful to have you out here tonight for the students. And just like, I'm glad I met you. We've like seen each other so many times. You're like, hey, I met you. Then I keep seeing you.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're like, oh, okay. Like, I guess with most people, like, oh, Jonathan's around. Got it.
Yeah. It's the same thing as before we were talking about Angela.
Yeah.
I see someone once. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you see him again somewhere else? Oh, okay.
It's like I'd seen Angela a couple times around Bangkok in the stadium.
Yeah.
Like, I knew who she was, and I never got a chance to like introduce myself. It was like she's with the team, then they like left. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll run into them another time. I never actually met her in person until here. And like she would announce her seminar tour. I'm like, hey, like I'm interested in having you. Matt Lucas can vouch for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's important. That's how networks, and that's sort of how the sport grows.
Yeah.
You were able to do a podcast with Angela that's going to reach like a lot of people.
Different audience.
I think Angela is doing a really, really great job of promoting awareness about female fighters and like non-male fighters, which I think is amazing.
Yes.
And it's so important too.
I agree. She's doing really good work.
Yeah.
I guess going into this next thing, what's your main focus right now?
Like immediately, it's just to get back to Thailand.
Obviously, you're homesick, but professionally.
Professionally, so I really want to grow Fairtex. Of course, they've been very good for me. And have helped me a lot, so I'm really invested in them. The other thing is growing Muay Thai Gram, which I'm a partner of, and sort of developing tools and monetization of that.
You guys haven't monetized that thing at all, huh?
We've done some subscription or advertising revenue, but I think I'm going to figure out some other avenues.
Sure.
And also sort of my own monetization. I have the book out, I'm Fighting in Thailand, A Guide to the Sport, which has been very good.
But you've been advertising a lot there.
Yeah. And I think that I might do some other stuff. I'm thinking about doing a athlete management course.
Yeah.
You're a starting athlete. Like these are the things you need to know. The same as like how you need to know how to fight. You also need to know how to manage your contracts, like grow on social media.
We're talking about conflicts and stuff.
Yeah,
like
contract.
That.
We were talking about that over lunch.
Yeah.
You need to know how to promote yourself, how to deal with promotions. There's a lot of things that
developing your
value and. Doing seminar tours, rates for privates. A lot of professional athletes are also personal trainers. So, there's a lot of facets to the business that aren't really explained quite yet.
I want to make a recommendation for you since you're doing that while you're out here, if you can. Or I think you can do it via mail too, is get registered as a professional matchmaker with CSAC. But not just matchmaker, but I think you can be like the person who allows people. You can give the okay on people turning pro. You quote unquote assess them, and you can be vetted through the state to be like, hey, this person can go pro. So like let's say if I had somebody that wanted to fight professional, and there's another person who will fight professional, but they don't have somebody who's registered to do this, they have to find somebody who is in order to vet them with the state.
Oh, that's interesting.
You have to be licensed to do it, and I think to get your license, you just have to show proof that you have proper enough experience. But we know how the state works here. They don't understand what's good, what's bad in regards to Muay Thai. They know kickboxing, they know boxing.
Yeah.
So I recommend for you, like if you're doing that, to look into that. That not only that, but I think that would put you like it's another thing you put on your resume.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
sure.
it's a piece of paper. But for what you're doing, it sounds like that might be up your alley.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention it before it slipped my mind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then, you know a lot of people out here, so it'd be easy for you like, yes, that's good. No, you shouldn't.
Yeah. No, you're not ready.
Yeah, no, please no. And you never know, maybe you end up doing more work with promotions and stuff like that too.
Sure.
And I know you get a lot of foreigners matches over in Thailand too. So you have experience with it.
Yeah.
You understand the game.
Yeah, for sure. And, one of the great things about doing this tour is like learning about those opportunities. And I'd really like to, I guess you asked what my focus is right now. It's building a better bridge between Thailand and the States.
For sure.
And building that bridge, I believe, will build a better infrastructure for the sport.
I 100% agree.
And I want the infrastructure of the sport, particularly the business end of the sport, to grow. Because I want athletes to be getting paid. I want gym owners to be able to make livings. I want, casual fans to enjoy themselves. I do believe that the business end needs just to be developed a lot more.
For sure. Well, that's like that sounds like it's like your purpose, what you're looking to do, and that's where that kind of comes in line with like people like me and Ryan and stuff. Is like what's our purpose? Is to affect more people positively through Muay Thai, give these opportunities that we didn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
These opportunities to these kids, young up and comers, and people just training for fun.
Yeah.
So, well. Do you want to give me shout outs before we close things out, Matt?
I definitely appreciate having you on, or having me on your show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely appreciate you taking the time out. Thanks, as always, to my wonderful coworkers at Fairtex, Patrick Rivera, who's helped support me a lot, the people at Muay Thai Graham, and everyone that has helped me make this possible. A lot of friends and a lot of gyms have helped me, travel around the States and have opened their doors and
have a platform for you.
Yeah, have a platform for me. So it's really, really cool. And it's, to me, it's a very, very positive sign of the growth of the sport.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for calling today, Matt.
Yeah, no problem. Right. Thank you.
All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, or if you like hearing about all the stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing. Also, there's another way to support us. If you guys visit our Patreon link, it's in the show notes. Also on our YouTube, if you go to pmtlifestyle.com, there's a Patreon link up at the top. You can support us for as little as $5 a month. To get some behind-the-scenes footage, things of that nature, to see what we're doing behind the scenes for Pu'u Muay Thai, what we're trying to get going. Also, you can get some early access clips. You can also get t-shirts, merchandise, and a few other things as perks of being a patron. Again, go check that out. It's at pmtlifestyle.com.